Good afternoon, students. Hello, I'm audible to you. Okay. No. So in the last lecture, we have seen the type of displacement, that is stiffness and flexibility, how to calculate the stiffness and flexibility for the axial forces, all these things. Okay. Now, so today we'll see the numerical. Okay. So so we are learning two methods. That is, one is flexibility method, another is stiffness method. Okay. The flexibility method, also known as compatibility method, and stiffness method, also known as equilibrium method. Okay, remember these things. Also known as this force method. Okay, and the stiffness method is also known as displace, displacement method. Okay. So today's strength is very low. Why? Okay, leave it. So we have these two methods. Yeah. So this flexibility method, also known as compatibility method and force method. Stiffness method is known as equilibrium method and displacement method. Okay. Now, so what are the steps involved in the flexibility method and the stiffness method? We will learn. Okay. Now, so the force method. So always we are eager to find out the indeterminate members, because in determinate members We can find out the reactions and the forces by using the equilibrium equations. But if there is indeterminate beams, okay, how to find out? So we have seen so many methods as we have learned in slope deflection method, moment distribution method, Carney's method, strain energy method, correct? So these are the methods to, to find out the indeterminate beams, okay, to solve the indeterminate beams. So these two methods also, that is flexibility and the stiffness method, also to find out the indeterminate truss. Okay, that means to solve this indeterminate truss. If there is an indeterminate member is there in the flexibility method, first what we have to find out, we have to determine the degree of static indeterminacy. Determine the degree of static indeterminacy. Okay. How to find out the static indeterminacy? You already know. Okay. That is also called as a degree of redundancy. Degree of redundancy. Okay. In the stiffness method also, okay, we have to determine the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. Determine the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. It's also known as degree of freedom. Degree of freedom. Okay. So in the flexibility method, we have to determine the static indeterminacy, and in the stiffness method, we have to determine the kinematic indeterminacy. Okay. Now, after find out the static indeterminacy, okay, the second step in the flexibility method, we have to choose the redundant. Choose the redundant. We have to choose the redundants. Okay. And here what we have to do, we have to identify the independent displacement components. Identify the independent displacement component. Okay. Third step. Okay. In third step, assign the coordinates to the redundants. Redundants as 1, 2, 3 as a number of redundants. In the stiffness method, assign the coordinates to the independent displacement components. Assign the coordinates 1, 2, 3, n to the independent displacement components. Displacement components. I will give the example. Just you write down all these things. Okay. Now, in the fourth step, I will explain all these things. Okay, just you remember this one. What are the difference between this method? Fourth one, in the fourth one, in the force method, that is the inflexibility method, we have to remove all the redundants to obtain the released structure. What? Remove all the redundant, all the redundant to obtained the released structure. The released structure. Released structure means equilibrium. That is determinant structure. We can say. Okay, determinant structure. Here, prevent all the independent displacement components to obtain the restrained structure. You are getting my point? Prevent all the prevent all the independent displacement components in the component to obtain the restrained structure. Restrained structure. Restrained structure means rigid structure. That is means fixed like this. The joint is fixed. This joint is fixed. Restrained structure. Okay. Okay, students. Now the next one. This is flexibility, stiffness. If you have any doubts, okay, clarify there itself. Now, in flexibility, what is the next step? Fifth. In fifth, okay, in fifth step. So whatever we have removed all the redundants to obtain the release structure, okay. Now the different parts comes. Determine delta L, that is the displacement at the coordinates due to the apply loads acting on the release structure. Okay, so determine displacement, that is delta L. Okay, displacements at the coordinates due to the apply loads acting on the release structure, acting on the released structure. Now what we have to find out, after releasing the structure, okay, we have the external loading on the beam. Due to that external loading, what are the displacement we have to calculate? What we have to do in the stiffness? So here we have to determine the P dash. P dash. What is the P dash? The forces required at the coordinate. The forces required at the coordinate in the restrained structure, in the restrained structure due to the loads, due to the loads other than those acting on the coordinates, other than those acting at the coordinates. Correct? So here what we have find out at the support, what is the degree of freedom? Okay, suppose there is a roller support, so the degree of freedom is, okay, 2. It can rotate and it can translate in horizontal direction. So there we have given the coordinates. Now it is a, we have made, after giving the coordinates, we have made it is rigid. That means we have made the fixed support instead of roller. And now we are finding out what is the moment and the displacement, lateral displacement due to the vertical loading we are calculating, okay, in the stiffness. So maybe it is going above your head, okay, just listen. I will take one numerical and at the time I will explain better way, okay. Now next one. So after finding out the displacement due to the loading delta L, okay, in the flexibility method, next step is determine delta R matrix, okay, delta R matrix, that is the displacement at the coordinates due to the redundance acting on the release structure. Displacements at the coordinates due to redundant due to redundant acting on the released structure. Release structure, okay. Now here what we have to do, so determine P delta, okay, the forces at the coordinate, the forces the forces required at the coordinates in the unrestrained structure, okay, unrestrained structure, unrestrained structure to cause the independent, to cause the independent displacement components, that is delta. Now here seventh one, calculate the net displacement at the coordinates. Calculate the net displacement at the coordinates. That is delta equals to delta L minus, so plus delta R, and here calculate the net forces at the coordinate. that is P equals to P dash plus P delta. P delta. Eighth step, using the condition of compatibility, the displacement to calculate the redundant. Okay. Using the condition of compatibility. That's why this flexibility method is also known as compatibility method. Also known as compatibility method. Okay. So what is that one? P equals to inverse of displacement, that is, this is flexibility, delta minus delta L, and here using the condition of equilibrium. That's why the stiffness method is also known as equilibrium method. Delta equals to inverse of stiffness matrix P minus P dash. Okay, and the last step, by knowing the redundance, now we have known the redundance. By knowing the redundance, calculate the internal forces. Calculate the internal forces by using equation of statics. Okay, by using equation of equilibrium or statics. Here what is, now we have the displacement. By knowing the displacement, we can calculate the internal forces by using slope deflection method. By using slope deflection method. Okay, students. So these are the steps involved in the flexibility and stiffness matrix. Now, so I will take one numerical. It will be okay for you. How the steps are there. So analysis a continuous beam by using force method and the displacement method. The first we'll find out by force method. Force method is nothing but, yes, anyone? Force method is nothing but, yes,
Flexible method.
yes, flexibility method. Flexible, not flexibility method. also known as third name is third name
Compatibility method.
compatibility, correct. Now, so we'll see, will this one will resolve by force method. Now, so what is the first step in force method? Determine the degree of static indeterminacy. Determine the degree of static indeterminacy. What is the static indeterminacy? Yes, you find out. How much static indeterminacy? Yes, anyone. What is the static indeterminacy for this beam? Yes, yes, student. SM1. Tell me, what is static indeterminacy? Hmm? Hmm. Yes, find out. Hmm. Yes, students, what is static indeterminacy? What is the students? What is the static? How you know what is how to find out the static indeterminacy? First, you tell me. Yes or no? Yes, student. Yes or no? Okay. See, now I'll take. We have roller support. Remember, this one is a roller support. Okay, here you see this one is a roller support. That means it can move horizontally, correct, and also it can rotate. It can rotate. So what here the degree of freedom is 2 for the roller support. Now you take a pin support, it can only rotate. What is the degree of freedom? Is 1. And for fixed support, it cannot rotate, cannot move, so degree of freedom is 0. And for the free end, degree of freedom is 3. Remember. Now, so we are finding out static indeterminacy. How to find out the static indeterminacy? Now, in our case, we have fixed here, we have roller support here, we have roller support here. Okay, now, so first for fixed end, how many reaction? 1, correct? Now, due to the vertical loading, I am calculating only due to the vertical loading. 1 support, fixed support, and 1 is moment. 0 1 0 2. I'm not taking horizontal because we have only the vertical loading. Summation of h must be equals to 0. So no, there is no horizontal loading. Okay, now here is one vertical load, here one is vertical reaction. 3 4, correct? Now this is a continuous beam, so we have here also, that is 5, correct? How many unknowns we have? 5, correct? How many equilibrium equation? Yes, anyone? Now in our case, we are not taking summation of h. Okay, so that's why how many equilibrium equation now? 2. Okay, and one more, there is equation called as a compatibility equation. Yes, anyone, what is that compatibility equation? Yes, so MBA plus MBC must be equals to 0. This is called as a compatibility equation in the continuous beam, correct? So that is 0 1. So the degree of static indeterminacy equals to 0 5 minus 0 2 minus 0 1. How much? 2. Like this we have to calculate the degree of static indeterminacy. Okay, we have to calculate how many reactions we have to find out. Okay, that means suppose you want to purchase a bat. Okay, suppose this is the bat price is 200 rupees, and we have to check that how much money we have, then how much we should brought from others. Like this, suppose 200 bat price is there and you have 150, then 50 we have to brought from others. So that is like a static indeterminacy. That means we have these two equilibrium equation and one compatibility equations. Okay, so we require two more equation to find out this unknowns, you got now? Yes, students. Okay, so what is the static indeterminacy for this beam? Yes, is 2. Okay, it's 2. Okay, now what is the second step after finding out the static indeterminacy, that is the degree of redundance? What is the second step? What is the second step in force method?
Choose the redundant.
Choose the redundants. So to choose the redundants, okay, and what is the third step? Assign the coordinates to the redundant. So we'll choose the redundant and we'll assign the coordinates to the redundants. So we have to choose the redundants 2 only. Okay, so we have roller support, then I will make here we have roller support and I will choose the redundant. Here we have the moments, so that moment I will choose as a first redundant. and I will give the coordinate name as 1, and here we have fixed, I will make as a pin support, and whatever the third is there, that is a moment. Okay, for that I will give the second coordinates. Correct. So I have chosen two redundants, 1 and 2. That means I have released this moment at this point and this point. Now this frame is what? Release the structure. Release structure. That means I have released the two moments, and now it becomes released structure. Correct. Remove all the redundant to obtain the released structure. So we have obtained the released structure. Okay, students. Now you got? Yes, students. So this is third step also we have done here. 2, 3 steps. Now next one. Next one is what? So we have removed the redundants. Okay. Now what is the next step? Determine delta L, the displacement at the coordinates due to the applied loads acting on the release structure. Correct? Now, this is roller structure. Here we have roller, and here we have pin support. And what is the loading? We have 100 kilonewton, and here we have 60 kilonewton per meter. Now, listen carefully. It is very important. Determine the delta L, that is the displacement. The displacement at the coordinates. So this is the coordinate we have chosen. At the coordinates due to the applied loading. Due to the applied loading. Now, so what is the displacement due to the moment? Is rotation. Correct? In first lecture, I explained in the flexibility and stiffness introduction. Correct? So movement gives us rotation. That means whatever the rotation is there, that is what the displacement along this coordinate 1. Correct? Students. So if this beam is deflect like this beam is get deflect, we have a rotation at this end, we have rotation at this end, and we have rotation at this end. Correct? A, B, C. Students, correct? Yes or no, student? Tell me. If you are not understanding, you just confirm me. Okay, now I will make this separate. What is the slope? Yes, anyone? Theta B in this case. What is the slope? Okay, you just okay. So write down somewhere. So if there is a cantilever beam and we have point load at the end. Okay, the beam will get deflect, and we have deflection at the end, and we have theta at this point. So what is the slope and deflection? What is the slope? This one, yes, anyone? What is the slope equals to? Yes, anyone? Yes, what is the slope equals to? Yes,
WL square upon 2EI.
WL square upon 2EI, correct. And what is the deflection at this pre end?
WL cube upon 3EI.
3EI, correct. Good one. Now second one. Now if there is a cantilever beam and we have UDL W per meter run, deflection, this is theta. So what is the slope at this end due to this UDL loading? Yes.
WL cube upon 6EI.
6 EI. And what about deflection at this end?
WL raised to 4 upon 8EI.
Correct. Now the third one. If there is simply supported beam and point load midspan W at midspan L by 2, L by 2. So the beam will get deflect like this, and the slope we have at the end, correct? And we have deflection at midspan. What is the slope at the end due to the center load?
WL square upon 16EI.
W L square upon 16 EI. And what is the deflection at the center?
WL cube upon 48EI.
W L cube upon 48 EI. Student, write somewhere. This is very important when we are solving the flexibility method. The fourth one, UDL. Now you tell me for this one.
WL cube upon 24EI.
And for the deflection,
5WL raised to 4 upon 384EI.
okay. So now the last one, simply supported, and we have the eccentric loading A and B. Okay. So we have two slopes, theta A and theta B, if A and B will be there. Okay. So what is theta A slope? What is the theta slope will be? Yes. Okay. That one WB L square minus B square divided by 6 EIL, and theta B equals to WA L square minus A square divided by 6 EIL, and the deflection at the under this load delta equals to WABL divided by 6 into 12, 72 EL. Okay, just check. So this one is like this. Okay, now in our case, now you tell me what is should be theta B. That is, this load is at the center. 1.5 meter, 1.5 meter. So what will be theta b? What will be theta b? Center W. Yes. What is that equation? W.
WL square by 16 EI.
16 EI. Now in numerical, EI is a constant. Okay. EI is a constant for both the beams. Same EI. Okay. So theta b will calculate what is the loading. We have 100 kilonewton. Length is 3 square divided by 16 EI. So what is that one? How much? Don't leave the class. Okay, I'm extending the class. We'll complete this numerical. Then only you will have the second class. Okay, next lecture. Sorry, I will tell you to Shubham sir, or someone will tell to Shubham sir. Sir is continuing. Okay, after sir class is over, we will inform him. Okay. Now, what is theta b? WL square upon 16 EI. So 100 into, so 56.25 divided by EI. Okay. Now here what is theta b? Theta b and theta c both are same. Yes, what is the equation? What is the equation? Slope equation. Just now I have given. W
WL cube by 24 EI.
60 into what is the 4 cube divided by 24 into EI. How much? 112.5. Correct? 112.5.
160, sir.
160. So why all those 267.5, all these things are different? Why other values are different? Okay. Now the sign convention. Now we will see the sign convention. Very important in this flexibility. If you are given the wrong sign convention, your whole problem will go wrong. Maybe you know all the steps how to calculate, but if you are giving the wrong sign convention, whole thing goes wrong. Now remember. Now see here, you have taken the slope like this, correct? You have taken the slope like this. So the moment, how the slope will be there, that is rotation will be there when moment is acting. So here, this moment, it should be clockwise or anti-clockwise, you tell me, to get the slope downward direction. Yes, the moment at this position, clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise, correct. Here, this moment, to get the downward, what should be the moment?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Other students, you are getting? For here, if you want to downward slope, what is the moment here? It should be
Anti-clockwise.
anti-clockwise. Correct. Now this is what our original frame. Correct. Now we are finding out the displacement due to the loading at the redundant. Okay. Now, so how we have assumed the redundant? Here anti-clockwise, here clockwise, here yes clockwise. correct? Here clockwise. Now here clockwise. Now what we have to find out? Displacement at the coordinate due to the external loading, correct? Displacement coordinate at the now. So at the first coordinate, delta 1L. Remember, delta 1L is nothing but what? Displacement at coordinate 1, okay, I will take this one. Displacement, each word is having meaning. Delta is displacement, 1 is nothing but the coordinate 1, along the coordinate 1. L is nothing but due to the external loading, correct? You got delta 1L means what? Student, fast. What is the delta 1L got? Student, yes or no? Fast. Okay. So at 1 we have two slope, this here and this here, correct? Due to the external loading. Now, due to the external loading we have the two slopes and both are downward direction. And due to this considered coordinate gives us both rotation of the downward direction. So that's why both should be positive. That means this theta b and this theta b, if you add at one junction, point, so what will be the, we will write plus 56.25 divided by EI plus 160 divided by EI. What is the total? Is 216.25 divided by EI plus. Got why I am taken plus? Because the given, due to the loading, the slope is in the downward direction. Here also slope is in downward direction, which is matching with the considered rotation, considered displacement at coordinate 1, correct? Students, okay? Students, okay? Hello students. Okay, now you tell me what is a delta 2L means what? Delta 2L means what? Delta 2L means what?
Displacement at coordinate 2.
Yes, displacement at coordinate 2 due to, yes, L means what? Students, displacement at coordinate 2 due to, yes friends, fast. What is delta 2L?
Loading.
Correct. Displacement at coordinate 2 due to the loading, correct? Now, so what is the displacement at this coordinate due to the loading is this much, correct? Now what is that one? 160 divided by EI. Now you tell me, it is plus or minus? So it is plus or minus? Yes, it is plus or minus? Plus.
Minus.
See Rajni, okay, why it is minus? I will again explain you. Now this is a downward slope. This downward slope gives us a anti-clockwise movement, but what we have assumed along the coordinate is clockwise movement. So this slope should be in the upward direction, but it is a downward direction. So that's why it is minus. Okay, students. Students. Okay. Now, so the displacement matrix equals to 216.25 divided by EI and minus 160 divided by EI. Okay. Now, so what is the next step? What is the next step? We have to determine delta R. Correct? So what is delta R? Is a displacement due to displacement at the coordinates due to the redundants acting on the released structure. Correct? So released structure, there is no loading. We have roller support here. We have roller support here. We have pin support here. Pin support. Correct? No. So what we have? Now I will take coordinate 1 only. Coordinate 1, this is due to the here we have slope. Due to this moment we have slope at this end. Correct? Now and here we have coordinate 2. So first I will take a delta 1 1. Delta 1 1. What is the delta 1 1 means? I will explain. Delta is nothing but displacement at coordinate 1. Displacement at coordinate 1 due to the load acting on the coordinate 1. Due to the load acting on the coordinate 1. Okay, now. So what should be the delta at this one? If the further end is, yes, yes, further end is pin support. Further end is pin support. What is this delta? Flexibility. Students, I have given one table.
L cube by 3 EI.
L cube by 3 EI. Just check once again. I don't have this table now with me. Just check once again. What is the flexibility?
L divided by AE.
Now that is for the axial member, na? See, yes, I don't have this table now with me. Just check. I've given one table to you.
L divided by 3 EI, sir.
Correct. L divided by 3. I will
3
take
EI.
L1, L2 take. I will take L1 divided by 3 EI. Same as here, it is pin support. So again, L2 divided by 3 EI. Correct? So what is the length here? This is 3 meter and this one is a 4 meter. Correct? So 3 divided by 3 EI plus 4 divided by 3 EI. So this delta 1 1 becomes 7 divided by 3 EI. 3 EI. Now, what is a delta 2 1? Delta 2 1. That means if you apply the moment at this end, what is the effect at 2? That means what is the displacement at 2 due to the loading at coordinate 1? Due to the coordinate 1. So, what is the slope at this end when we have the rotation at 1. Yes, anyone? Yes, anyone? I given the sketch also. So rotation at one end, if other end is fixed, that time, yes, for what is the at other end, what is the moment in the flexibility? Students, your, yes, students,
6 EI by L square.
6 EI by L square, correct. 6 EI by L square. That is a stiffness. I'm asking flexibility, delta. Yes. Hmm. Remember that sketch? Remember that sketch? Fast ones. Sketch. Find out where is that sketch. I explained with the neat sketch. Go back to your notes. Tell me now. Students.
2 EI divided by L into theta A.
2
Let
EI
that be divided by L into theta A.
into theta A. 2E. I given 2. Just check.
Yes.
Just once again you check.
MEL by 2 EI.
Okay. Correct. So I give correct. Now see here. So when we have the moment at this position, displacement is L by 3 EI. So always the carryover moment will be half of that one. Half of that one. You know, half of that one. Correct, student? In slope deflection method, you all learned. If the moment at one point, if you want to carry over that moment, that carryover moment will be always half of that moment. Correct? So here also we can have the carryover moment will be of carryover displacement will be half of that displacement L2 divided by 6 EI. Remember, so L2 is what? 4 divided by 6 EI, 2 divided by 3 EI. Two divided by 3 EI. Students, You got how this L2 divided by 6E I have taken? You tell to the yes, कुणीतरी शुभम सरांना कॉल करून सांगा क्लास चालू आहे म्हणा, झाल्यानंतर कळवतो म्हणा. ओके. येस. Hmm. 2 divided by EI. Okay, students. This one is clear to you or not? Students, this one is clear to you or not? Say yes or no. Students, I'm not moving. Yes or not? Students, see here. Now, always in the slope deflection method, okay, if there is a moment at this one end, what is the moment at other end? It should be the m by 2, m by 2, as this moment is there, same moment will be here, correct? M by 2. So what I have taken the same concept. If there is a displacement at this one, so what should be the displacement at this point? Should be half of that displacement, that is L2 divided by 6CA. Now it's okay. Okay, now the sign. Now here and coordinate 2, we have assumed the clockwise movement, correct? But this is a downward direction slope. So that's why it is minus. That's why it is minus. Correct? You got this y minus sign is there. Yes, you got y minus sign is there. Okay, now. So now the next move. Okay. Now the next one. Correct? This is coordinate 2, which is applied clockwise. So this gives a slope, upward slope. So like this and here. Correct? This gives us upward slope. What is this slope? Yes. That gives us delta 2 2. So the displacement at coordinate 2 when the moment, that is load applied at 2. Yes, what is delta 2 2? If other end is pin support only. Yes, what is one? That one? Fast students, now you know what is the slope at this point now. If other end is pinned. You are ruining my time. Yes, fast. Other end is pinned. What is the slope at this end?
WL cube by 24.
Why WL cube by 25? Here there is no loading. What is the flexibility? When we apply the moment, what is the rotation at this end? Yes, that I want. See the table.
L divided by 3EI.
Simple. So L divided by 3EF. Plus or minus? Plus or minus? Yes? Yeah, I know. Plus or minus?
minus.
Why minus, beta? See this.
Downward side line.
No, but it is an upward. I have shown. Na. See here, it is. I have shown upward. And now I have considered the upward. See, the moment is clockwise. This clockwise movement gives us upward slope. So this is the slope. So this slope and this slope are matching due to this moment. So that's why it is plus 4 divided by 3 EI. Okay, now. So what is the delta now? 1, 2. What is the slope at this coordinate 1? Now this is coordinate like this. So this is just what is the slope due to this one? Carry your moment just half of that one. L divided by 6 EI. Correct? Plus or minus? You now you tell me. Plus or minus here. Plus or minus? Yes. Plus or minus?
Minus.
Correct. It is minus 4 divided by 6 EI minus 2 divided by 3 EI. Why minus? See here, this is upward slope, but our coordinate is like this. That due to this coordinate, it should be the downward slope, but it is due to this moment we have upward slope. So that's why it is minus. Okay. So this one gives us delta R matrix. Delta 1 1, delta 1 2, delta 2 1, delta 2 2. Delta 1 1 is how much? 7 divided by 3 EI minus 2 divided by 3 EI minus 2 divided by 3 EI, and delta 2 2 is 4 divided by 3 EI. Okay, so 1 by 3 EI common. Here we have 7 minus 2 minus 2 4. Delta R. Delta R. Okay. Okay, student. Now, so what is the last equation? The P forces, that is redundant forces, equals to inverse of flexibility matrix into displacement due to the total displacement minus displacement due to the loading. Correct? This one. So we have two coordinates P1 and P2. Delta 1 1, delta 1 2, delta 2 1, delta 2 2. Inverse of this matrix. The final displacement is 0 because it is in equilibrium, minus delta L is delta 1L, delta 2L, like this. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll complete this one. So next time you should have the calculator. I will show you how to solve this one in the on the calculator. How we can solve this matrix on the calculator. Okay, students, we'll stop here.